Well, how would you like to turn 20 days of annual leave into as many as 58 days off? We are told it is possible. It just takes a little bit of planning.
Yes, very keen. And Angus Kidman, travel expert from Finder, joins us now. Angus, thank you for being with us. We've got people's ears pricked up now.
Yeah.
Turning 20 days of annual leave into 58. I mean, how possible is this?
It's eminently possible. Anyone who's got a regular full-time job can do this. As you say, the key is just to get organised. You've just got to plan really carefully about maximising the value of those 20 days off that most people typically have. We've mostly got 4 weeks, and mostly we say to ourselves, oh, okay, what I'll do is I'll take maybe a couple of 2-week breaks. That's often what people do, but that's not the best way to go about it. What you want to do in those circumstances is work out when the public holidays are and take your days off when those are in there, because then you stretch out all your available time. So that's really the secret. Identify where those public holidays are. There are some that everyone gets across the country. There are some that are different in every state. And when you spotted where they are, put in for time off that includes those. And if you do that, you can stretch that time out. How much you get depends which state you're in, because we have all these variations. So really lucky if you're living in the ACT, you can get a nice 58 days in that case. That's one of the more beneficial ones.
So if you're in the ACT, you're the luckiest people in Australia when it comes to taking time off work.
Yeah, well, that's the first time people have said people in the ACT are the luckiest people in Australia for anything else. So yeah,
be careful. Yeah, no, it's so true. So true. So 58 days. Victoria not far behind. New South Wales
down the bottom.
We're not taking quite so many extra public holidays, it turns out. So we're still doing all right. So hang on,
is it the number? So it's the number of public holidays, but also where they're placed.
It's where they're placed and how you can join them together. So it's a combination of both those things that really lets you get these long periods of time off.
This is some serious number crunching you've done for this segment. Thank you. Because it's quite state specific. People got to just really take note of exactly the examples for their state, right?
Oh, exactly right. So, for example, I suppose the Melbourne Cup falling on a Tuesday, you'd be taking the Monday off.
The ideal is, take the Monday off, also take the rest of the week off. Then you're going to get 9 days in a row with just that one day there. So for Victorians, that's a great option. I know every Victorian I know doesn't work on the Monday before Melbourne Cup. That already doesn't happen. But it's a really good chance to say, well, if I don't want to hang around and go to Flemington, this is another option. But the really good one this year, and the one that everybody can use, is actually the where we work between Easter and Anzac Day, because this year Easter Monday is in the same week as Anzac, so you can really stretch things out there. So if you take 7 days off in that period, so take off the week before with Easter in it, and then take off the days in the week after that, you can get 16 days off in a row that only use up 7 days of your annual leave. And that's one that pretty much works in every state in Australia. A little bit better in Tasmania because they get Easter Tuesday off as well. So
it's not race day or something there, is it?
I'm not sure what the basis is, but it's another holiday, so they get the same break but use up one less day to get there. So,
brilliant. So they still get the 16 days.
Yeah, but they've only had to use up the 6 instead of the 7. So, and that's really good. The beauty of doing this is that those longer, when you think about that longer period of time off, you start thinking, well, I can go a bit further, because
suddenly you've gone from like a couple of days off, visiting the rallies, to like you can go to Europe.
Well, you start. That's the thing. You start thinking about those overseas trips, or actually, to be fair, those really long distance trips to parts of Australia. Like if you want to go to Northern Territory,
totally.
If you want to go to Broome, Broome's lovely, but it takes you a better part of the day to get to Broome.
Exactly.
So you've got to plot that out.
So it sounds like the strategy is kind of won and lost here in April. Are there any other times of the year where you really need to be aware of what's going on and think well?
I think April is definitely at the top of it. The other one to look at is to be planning ahead for the end of the year, when you do everyone gets Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year rolling in there. So we've already missed. You could, to maximise these days, you should have started this last year so that you'd had some time off running up to Christmas. You also there's quite a bit of stuff that tends to kick off in October, November, again, especially in Victoria, because as well as having the benefit of Melbourne Cup Day down there, you get the Grand Final Friday. Controversial holiday, but it's there, so it's another chance to stretch your holidays out.
So, best ways to get approved for leave?
That's the thing, isn't it?
Just, Chris, block your ears, because I feel like first in best dress might be one of the tips.
That's right, exactly. Guess what our boss is going to be copying emails on.
It's all about getting in there. You have to have this planned out first, because in most workplaces there's a general sense of
both of us thinking about
first
Easter
in,
right now.
best dressed. It's like, I don't know how efficient your holiday application system is, but if you really want to identify those things and say, okay, these are the gaps I want to take, and you really want to get in and apply for as many of them as possible up front.
So beat your co-host, I mean your colleague.
Yeah, I think that, and like if you really want to seal the deal in that way, one of the things you want to do is know the rhythm of your workplace and make sure if there's something during one of those periods that you might normally be expected to do, say to your boss, I've thought about that, I promise I'll take care of dealing with important tasks X, Y and Z before I go away, because otherwise that's an easy excuse to say no.
What about a well-placed sickie? Terrible idea. We don't condone that sort of behaviour.
No, we don't condone that. It costs business and productivity.
Fair enough.
Millions.
I'm sorry I even said it.
It's not necessary, given that you can get at least the legitimate holiday.
Well said.
You can save your sickies for actually being sick, and with all this leave, you'll feel better than ever. You won't be getting sick.
But just quickly, one more thing. You've been talking. Okay, if we're going to maximise our leave, you've been talking currency-wise and looking into some numbers about. We had that big Aussie dollar fall last year, which we've reported on a lot. What are the overseas destinations that get best bang for your buck if you're planning right now? Right
now, but actually it's been the case for the last 4 years. Argentina. Really strong. Do really well out of that. Ditto for Turkey, and also lots of countries in Africa. So if you've been thinking about a safari starts looking doable in that 16-day period. So those are the ones I'd really focus in on if you're looking to maximise that return.
There you go. Wouldn't have picked it, but 2019 is looking good for Argentina, Turkey and Zambia if you want your money to go a long way for you. That's good. That's good to know. Zambia is interesting. I wouldn't know. I haven't been, but still.
Two children who are difficult to negotiate in a Zambian situation, no doubt.
Yeah, it might be tricky.
Thank you so much. Hey, Angus, that was really great. Appreciate it. Thanks for crunching the numbers. You got them. Do what you want with it.